Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the YarnCreations podcast where I share everything regarding fiber related crafts with you. This is episode 40 and it is 5 years since I made my first episode. 40 episodes in 5 years. I don't think that's a lot, but that is what I managed, and there were some intervals of not making any episodes in between, but at the moment I'm still enjoying it and I love sharing my knitting and crochet and fiber related crafts with you. My name is Adela and I live in Pretoria in South Africa. So let's hope that I can make this work. It's difficult to find some quiet time, but let's see how it goes. I'm going to try my best. So I'm going to jump right in so that I can do this while it's possible. So first I've got some finished objects for you today, and I'm not wearing it because it's a bit hot. And to close out most of the street noise, I close the window as well as the door to this room where I do my episodes, where I do the recording. And so it's a bit, there's no air moving around. So that's one of the reasons. I will probably wear this maybe when it's in a future episode when it's a little bit cooler. But I still wanted to show it to you because it is done. And that is this raglan sweater that I knitted. I've showed it to you a few times. And I sometimes feel it's actually easier not to wear the item because it's so difficult to get my whole body in on the screen. It's actually easier for me to show up close and to show what I did. But I did explain a lot of it in my previous episodes. I used Purl Soho linen quill in dark iris. Very, very pretty color, and you can see the linen in there. It's also got some alpaca in and pure Highland wool. And then for the stripes, as I showed you, was the John Arbon Alpaca Delight. I think it's 100% alpaca. So that worked out quite well. I've showed it in my previous episodes, so if you haven't seen where I show the yarn, then you can just go back to I think the 2 previous episodes. I did do a 3/4 sleeve, and I think I showed you I did a small split hem, and I did my usual increases on the sides. I don't think you can see it. I think this is the, no, this is not, yeah, this is the side where I changed colors, and I think it looks okay. I've tried numerous ways of avoiding the jog in stripes, and I just can't find a way that works perfectly. So most of the time I just knit, and then I pull a little bit on the ends of the yarn to straighten it a little bit, and that seems to work. I think I did mention that I do knit in all my ends as I go, and I might snip them a little bit shorter. They haven't yet been cut, but I don't want to cut them too short, otherwise they can um, pull through to the front or push through to the front, so, and you don't want that. So I actually should just cut them a little bit shorter and then wait for them to felt. But I think they are quite secure, and this is after all the inside of my sweater. And if anybody comes that close and wants to look inside my sweater, I won't allow it. That is probably too close then. too too much inside my personal space. So yes, I'm quite happy with it. It's a nice length. I do like longer length sweaters, and I do like A-line. So even if a pattern doesn't mention anything about that, I will still do A-line, because I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned it before, but my bust is about 100 centimeters. I think that's 40 inch, but I'm at least 12 centimeters bigger down below. So I just find I feel much more comfortable if I have an A-line shape in my sweaters. And I just like room, and I like some positive ease, and I feel much more comfortable, and I like to have movement inside my sweaters. And yes, it's just I just like it. It's a little bit scratchy, but I think once I've worn it a few times, and when something is a little bit scratchy, when you wear it for about half an hour or 1 hour, then your body heat makes, I don't know, it gels with a yarn or something. I'm not sure how it works, but then it's not that scratchy. So this is something that I will be able to wear in the autumn, I think. So as I mentioned, I didn't actually use a pattern. I just decided to do my own thing so that I can use these yarns the way I wanted to. And that is the issue I have most of the time, that I have the yarn and I can't find a pattern that works perfectly with the yarn that I have. So I just do my freestyle, mostly raglan sweaters. And then the other object that I finished is my Burra cowl that I've also showed you, and I just couldn't stop knitting this, and I'm really happy with the result. So I think this was my last repeat. Let me just see how it goes this way. So just see, I don't want to mislead you. No, my last repeat was, and I can't even see which one it was. Yes, I think this was my last repeat. No, it wasn't. this was my last repeat. And then I will show, I'm sure you will be able to see that that is where I did the grafting. I did a provisional cast on, that's not in the pattern. I just followed a video tutorial. I've linked it before, and I will, so you can always go back to episode 39. It's Arnold Colorfit, I think, is the YouTube channel, and I just followed a tutorial by from that channel on how to do a provisional cast on and how to put your stitches back on the needles and do the grafting. So it's not perfect, but it's okay. I just experimented with different color combinations. So these crosses, there's also a stripe color changing happening here and here. I didn't do that. I just used less colors in each, especially in this motif, and in some of the other motifs I also used less colors. And I showed you my yarns that I used. It was all from John Arbon in the Harvest Hues and the Devonia, all from my stash. I think I bought one color that I realized will work very well, and I realized that is what was so good doing this cowl and working with all these colors, is that you can see how the colors work with each other. And I realized that I've had this lighter purple color, and I know there is a darker one, so I got that. I just want to show you, it's this one. So that's the only color that I bought from Coloursofamalfi, just to add. It's a bit blown out, I don't know, I don't even have any lights on here. I'm not sure if lights make it better or worse. And I think if I hold it further back, it's maybe better. So I did all 4 repeats. Some people say that they find the 4 repeats are too much, but I think for our climate, having a looser cowl that's not so tight around your neck, especially because it's a double layer thickness, and it's also fair owl knitting, so you've got double layer of yarn and a double layer of thickness. So if I wear it, I think I would, it might be better if it's not so close up to my neck. I think it will be much too warm to wear for our climate. So I did all 4 repeats and I enjoyed it up to the last row. But I don't think I think 4 repeats is just right. I couldn't do more, then it would have been just too big. I would rather, there is some lovely cowl patterns in the 2 Marie Wallin books that I have, and I might do some of them at a later stage. It's lovely. It's so enjoyable to just play with all the combinations and see what happens. And I did change up some of them. Some of them I left more or less the same. So I'm very happy with this, and I think it's such a good swatch for when I want to do one of Marie Wallin's all over color work patterns with my John Arbon Harvest Hues and Yarnadelic. Then not Yarnadelic, Devonia. Then I know which colors I go well together, and some of them are my favorites. Some combos are my favorites. So this is the Burra cowl by Marie Wallin, and I'm very, very happy with it. And something else I still enjoy weaving some wraps, just to maybe work down some of my stash. And I've got some yarns that I've especially put aside to weave wraps with. So I'm just going through those little assortments of yarns. And one of them is I wove a wrap, just plain stripes. And the warp is Karoomoon Merino Twist, just in this one color. I'm not sure what the color is. It's a, I will almost say a brown charcoal color. I used about almost 250 grams for the warp, and I wanted to, just for interest's sake, see what the loom waist were. So I decided on a shorter fringe. I sometimes like that for a wrap, and the yarns that I've cut off the fringe, when I've cut the untidy pieces off, I weighed that, and that was about 30 grams. So I think at the end is full 200 grams in the warp, plus the 30 grams was what I've cut off. So I used, I'm not full 250 grams for the warp. And the weft is unfortunately a discontinued yarn. It's Katia Air Alpaca. And it's alpaca and 54% alpaca and 46% polyamide. I think the polyamide is almost like a tube, and then the alpaca is around that tube. I think so. But unfortunately, this is discontinued and has been in my stash for a few years. I used, I think, 5 colors. 6 colors. Just see. There's 5 colors. And I used one full ball, 50 gram ball of each, plus a little bit of a second ball of each color. So you can get quite a big wrap, and it's my usual size. I wove 2.5 meters on my 70 centimeter knitter's loom, Ashford knitter's loom. I hope the colors will be alright, because it's not very good on the camera as I see it today, but that is the best that I can do. Now, as you remember, I don't even want to mention the words anymore, because I'm not sure how the scammers and bots are picking out the channels that do have them. But there's a lot of YouTube channels that mention that there's a bot or scammers that are contacting the people that commented on below their YouTube episodes, and said that they have won something, and they must contact this person or whatever. So please, if ever you see that, please just ignore it. It's a scam, and it happened to a lot. I think it's more some of the bigger well-known channels I think maybe my channel is too small for them to pick me up. But I'm not even going to mention the words because I'm not sure how they pick it up or where they pick it up. So as you remember last time I did mention I have these yarns for someone. It's Cowgirl Blues DK, and you can knit my easy color work cowl with it. And I'm also going to add, I hope you can see this, it's tulip stitch markers, and it's white, so I'm not sure if you will be able to see them. So I've got a few tulip items that I will show you later for another gift, and they were very generously gifted to me by Marie from Coloursofamalfi. So I'm going to give this to one person, send this off to one person, and I have drawn a name. I just used the YouTube comment picker, and it is Linnen Butt. No, I'm not sure how. This is an iPad, and I'm not very used to an iPad, so I'm not sure where to even. I know it's somewhere that you can change the brightness of the screen. Where? Let's see. There it is, Linnen Butt. And congratulations, Lynn, and for your kind comment. And I think I did answer you and say I do not spin because I tried, but it's not coming natural to me. So I'm not going to pursue that at the moment because I think I have enough to keep me busy. The weaving and doing the plying of the yarn and the knitting and crocheting, I think that's a lot. So maybe one day I'll try again, but not at the moment. But congratulations, Lynn. I will put my email address in the description box below. So if anybody else wants to contact me, or for you, Lynn, please contact me. I will also maybe reply on your comment and just give my email address, and I think you will recognize it. I hope so. And then I can get your information and send it off to you. And I hope you enjoy it. So now I just want to quickly share with you one or two works in progress. And yes, please also stay tuned for something else that that I've still got from Tulip, that I would like to send out to someone that comments with something. I will describe that just now, or talk more about that. So remember I showed you last time my Prismarine scarf with all its pooling. It's very blown out on the camera, and I don't really know what is the best way to show this, because it's very blown out, and it's truly not this bright and blown out in true life. So I don't know how to show it, but it's coming along, and if I wear it, I think it will be fine. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to knit it. I will just have to see. But I am in this one section that does all the pooling. It's this section. I am alternating this. I've divided the skein into two, and I'm alternating the rows with the two skeins in this section where it does do the pooling. But really, I promise you, it's not this blown out in real life, not nearly so much. So it's actually something that I shouldn't even show on the camera. But I'm still doing this from time to time. It's the Prismarine scarf by Alena Appasova. And yes, that is, I'm using, I think, 3.5mm needles and merino singles from Wishboneyarn. I'm sure of it. Okay, so that is the Prismarine scarf that I'm still busy with. And then my crochet squares. I think with my planning, I think I'm busy with the last one. And this is also not the true colors, not closely. So I really don't know what to say or what to do about that. I'm using a 3.25 clover crochet hook, and if I'm done with that square, I've got 35 squares. And I think they are quite pretty. This is, I've showed you most of these, I think. And this is a yarn that I dyed myself. It's yellows and a little bit of pink and green, it seems, on the camera. It's not that visible in the squares in real life, but I think there's a little bit of green in. And this, and I think I've showed you the blues. So yes, I've got quite a nice variety, and the squares are, I think I measured them, oh, I can't remember, I think it was, yes, they are approximately 14 centimeters. So, and it's 10 rounds, and I'm turning each round, and I'm using the tutorial by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. That's one of the well over 200 tutorials on their Patreon. It's very neat, and it's the perfect square, perfectly square. I think that's what the tutorial is also called. But it's really very nice and neat. And I think I've been thinking a lot how I'm going to join them. I think I'm going to stop at the 35 squares, because I don't really have more yarns that's partial skeins or partially used balls or whatever. This one is actually a whole skein that I wound to bring in some of this color. And I don't want to, and the idea was to just use random balls for these squares. I also, yeah, this one that I dyed, I also wanted to use that, so I used the full skein of that, just for some extra pretty color. So yes, I think I've got an idea now. I've been thinking a lot how I want to join them and with what color. I've got a light grey and a dark grey, almost full balls of Knotty Habit. And this is all done in the 3-ply 75-25 sock yarn. So I think I'm going to try and work something out. That's also why I stopped with the 35 squares, because if I stop now, I think that yarn might be enough to join them with. So I'm going to play around and see. If it doesn't work, I'll have to make another plan. But I'm going to play around with the idea that I have of how to join them. And something that I'm not sure if I should mention it, and it might not last, but I've come to the conclusion that I don't want to make any more blankets. So we will see how long that will last. I'm actually a little bit sad about that, because I like to crochet. I like to have a crochet project. And that was always my crochet project, was always a blanket. But I don't know what to do with the blankets anymore when they are done. A lot of them are just stowed away for I don't know what and where and when and who. So for the moment, I'm going to try and shift my mind away from crocheting blankets, because I don't have any use for more blankets in my house. And the other thing is I get bored easily. So a very, very big crochet blanket is just, I just lost interest in it, and then I don't want to finish it. So you might see an example of that in the next episode. And sorry about the background noise, but I'm just going to try and finish quickly. So that is that sad story, but we will see what happens. And I also know that garments are something that I can use. It's not something that I have to put away in a drawer or in a cupboard and never use. All the garments that I make, if it's for me or for my daughter-in-law or for my sister-in-law, they're both very knitworthy. So I like knitting for them as well. They both have quite a few of my knitted garments. That's something that is used. So I think that is definitely something that the garment knitting is my main object at the moment. So when it was quite hot here in January, uncomfortably hot, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't, there was some days that I couldn't knit with the woolly stuff like the linen quill or the Burra cowl. I finished both of them when it became cooler and rainy. There was quite a lot of those days recently, so that is why I could finish them. But when it was so hot, I started this summer top. The yarn I'm using is also from Katia and also discontinued. It's 100% cotton, color changing yarn, and it's Katia Candy for Baby. But it's very soft, and it feels very cool and nice on my body when I tried it on. It's very interesting to me how the skeins differ. The first two skeins had a lot of grey in, and the second one had much more of the green and the light blue. But I'm happy about that because I really like this light green. So we will see what I've added a new skein here in the grey, and it looks like it's also going to be more in this lighter colours. We'll see. But it's, yes, I'm using a 3.5 tulip needles, and the pattern I'm using a pattern. Can you believe it? It is Edith Summer Top with Stars by Katrine Hannibal. She's designing for Unling yarns. The original has got these stars for the increases. And I was a little bit unsure if I should do the stars, because I didn't know how it will, if it will maybe look too busy with the color changing happening and the visible increases. So I just did yarn overs and then I knitted through the back loop. So you can see it a little bit. I wanted it to be a little bit visible, but maybe not too much, so that it doesn't take your eye off the color changing. And she's got a very different, the increases are already happening in the short rows. So that is the first time that I've done that. When I do a raglan, I do start with the increases in the short rows. But for a round yoke, I've never started with the increases while doing the short rows. So that was the first time that I've done that. And her short rows are done a little bit differently. So I want to see how this will fit me. Just try something new and see if there's a difference in the fit. Because I still find that, especially for a round yoke, that for a winter sweater it's fine if I knit it quite high up, but for my summer tops it does tend to still pull back. So I want to see if the way that this top is designed in the short rows, if that makes a difference. And there's quite a lot of short rows, as you can see. So that will be interesting. I did do, I think she does a very plain neck ribbing. But I just did some moss stitch. And I'm going to give it a sleeve, maybe this length, I think. I think I've got enough yarn. I bought it from Devonia in Benoni when we were there one day. And I just thought it would make a nice summer top. And I did buy enough so that I will not run out of yarn before the top is done. I might even have some left, and then I will not know what to do with that. That's always my problem. If I have some left, then I don't know where to put it and what to do with it. And the last work in progress I want to show you, now I have to be careful. is, just see how I can take it out of here, my Brioche Schlanket. It's not so bright in real life as all the things I'm showing you today. So it's done in Brioche, and I'm using 3.25. I did put in a cord here just to open it up a little bit, otherwise it's so bundled up that I can't show it to you. The needle is 3.25 Chiagu, and the yarn is all in merino singles. I'm using these two are attached at the moment. They are quite the same but a little bit different, not so dark in real life. And then I've got this still. So I started with lots of scraps. I did make a small episode where I showed you some of the yarns and how I sometimes have 2 or 3 or even 4 colors attached and then just alternate them. And there's some burgundy red in here, so I thought I might end in this. I wonder, does a ring light make a difference to the colors? Less blown out? Please tell me. The only issue I have with a ring light is that it shows in my glasses and I can't see without my glasses. It reflects in my glasses. So I'm just doing, the pattern is, where is it now? Do I have it here? Yes, fortunately I do have. The pattern is called Bouquet. It's by French designer Marie Christine Lèvesque. So the original is done in 2 color brioche, but I'm not doing that. I only bought the pattern to see how she does the increases. That's why I bought the pattern. How she started with the I-cord. It's got an I-cord edging. Don't want to pull the stitches off the needle. It's got a nice I-cord edging, and you can hide all your ends in the I-cord. And it's got a nice start. Okay, so my camera stopped. Oh I think my phone's memory is a bit full. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to try and add this video to the other one. The previous times I tried to do that, my words were my mouth was out of sync with the sound. So if it's that case again, then I apologize, or I might just add a separate video. I will see what will work best. So I showed you the bouquet shawl, and I told you that I bought the pattern to see how she does the increases. And but I'm only doing the 1 color brioche, where you only do brioche knit 1 row and then you turn, and then you also only do brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over. So I'm not sliding the stitches to the beginning of the round and knit with another color. I just brioche knit, slip and all the stitches and turn and do the same. So it's much easier, and it's I just know that there's going to be a lot of stitches on the needle, so I don't want to have that sliding back and forth and using 2 colors in one row. So that is the reason. So hopefully I will be able to show this in more detail next time, and keep in mind that my camera, my phone the memory is full, and try to delete some stuff. So the last thing I wanted to show or to tell you or whatever is that it is, as I said in the beginning, 5 years since I did my first episode, and I thought that another something is appropriate now, and I want to show you the generous items that Marie from Coloursofamalfi gifted me to give to you. So the one set is the Tulip Carry C Long for fine gauge. And you can go and have a look on her website. This is a very generous gift. So it is the 2.5 millimeter needle in the length of the needle is 9.5 centimeters. So it's not the longest needles. I think it's a little bit shorter, but it's still comfortable to work with. And then the very nice thin cable that goes with it. The cable is 80 centimeters, so you will be able to knit socks on this, and you will be able to take this when you fly. So this is a very, very nice, generous gift. And I will add, let me see, I think because it is fine gauge, I will add this very pretty fine stitch marker pins, the small ones. Aren't they just pretty? So delicate, very delicate, but I love them. So this will be the one gift. So you must tell me in the comments which one you want. Do you want the tulip knitting set? And what I will add, just for safety's sake, is a needle protector. I will add this Knit Pro needle protector because it's actually essential if you knit with these fine gauge bamboo needles to put them in the needle protector all the time, otherwise they will break. So that is the one, and then the other one is for the crocheters. It's a Etimo Rose 3.5 crochet hook. My favorite crochet hooks. And then for the little person in your life is crochet for first timers, or even keep it for yourself if you're working with a chunky yarn or t-shirt yarn or whatever. It's a very nice crochet hook that goes with it, or that you can give to someone. It's an 8 millimeter, also tulip. And then with that, the stitch marker pins, the larger ones. So that is, sorry, that's for the crocheters. That is for the crocheters. So you can tell me in the comments if you're interested in the tulip crochet or the tulip knit set. And don't mention the words that draw all the spammers and the bots, please. I'm also trying my best not to mention it, because I'm not sure how it works and how they get around to it. So I think that is it. I hope this will work. Otherwise, as I say, I will have an episode 40A and B. So that is it. I hope it was not too bad. And I will see you in March. Goodbye and happy crafting.